So in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up Laravel Sanctum with ReactJS and how we can actually use Axios to set up a course policy using Laravel Sanctum and Laravel. So I've just started out by creating two pure new apps here. One is the front end with the React and the other one is the back end with Laravel. Inside the env file, we actually don't need to use any of this in here except for one configuration, and that's basically we need to allow it to only use session domain, and we in this case only want to whitelist localhost. So you can whitelist localhost, or maybe on your on deployment you can whitelist something like your domain name, whatever fits you. So if you go in and just write localhost here, the other thing we need to do in order for this to work is we need to go inside our configuration, inside the course. And in here we want to allow anything inside the API directory, log in and log out, and we want to allow this function here we're gonna call in order to basically set the cookies with Axios. You can use anything you want to use this, but we're just using Axios because this is easy to go with and it's used a lot of places. So other thing we just want to make sure is that the support credentials is set to true, and that's actually everything in for the configuration here. So what we want to do now is inside Laravel here we can require Sanctum. So if we just go inside the backend and in here let's go in and require this. There's a couple of things we need to do in here, and these are fairly simple. We just need to publish the vendor files and migrate this and change a few things in our kernel. So in our front end, let's quickly go in here as well and just install Axios. And in here, let's now go in and make sure we publish the vendor files, and also we set up and migrate it. You can even use this to set up your own authentication system if you fancy. So, but now I'm just basically going to show you how to create a boilerplate here. You don't need to migrate. Obviously, you need to set up database configuration, so I'm going to skip that part for now. But otherwise, just set up the database configuration, that would be fine. But this is essentially just a boilerplate that will allow you to easily get started with your React app and have course policy set up with Laravel. So with that said, now that we have this set up here, what we can do now is we can go in and just make sure we put in this one here. So inside our app, HTTP kernel, and then inside the API one, we want to have the one up here on the top actually, sorry. So we want to have this one, and make sure to import that at the top as well. And beside that, we actually don't need to do anything else now. So now you can use this to generate a token for the user, or you can use it with a SPA application. But we're not really going to be looking into that. So for now, what we can do is we can go in here on the front end and we can just run this. And on the back end, we can also just quickly run here. And beside that, what we can do as the last part here is we can go in and set Axios up inside the front end. So in this case, what we can do is we can say we want to get rid of the logo, the index.css file, and the app.css file. So if we just get rid of these files here, we don't really need any of these files here. So let's go inside our index.js file, and in here let's get rid of the index.css file, and inside the app.js file let's remove everything from here. And then inside here, if just want to switch, so inside here what we can just do is we can in here, or we can do it inside here. It doesn't really matter, but what we just want to do is we want to make sure we set the credentials. So in this case, let's just do it when the app actually starts. So let's go up here, maybe on the top here, and say something like import Axios from Axios, and then let's just say Axios, and then we want to just call the get method. And in order to do this, we just need to point this to the localhost. And I can't state how important it is that if you whitelist only the localhost, it won't work on 127.0.0.1. So you need to use the localhost here, otherwise it will fail. So you need to make sure you whitelist the right ones in here, in the domain name that is the names you want to have whitelisted. And then we just need to say Sanctum CSIF cookie. So what this should do is it should set a cookie inside our browser. Now I'm just gonna remove all of these here. I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna refresh the page, and as you can see right now, we have no cookie set. So we need to figure out why it doesn't want to set the cookie. So inside the network tab, let's just try to go in here. The reason why it doesn't want to set this is because when you use Axios, in this case, it automatically blocks you for setting any cookies. So what you want to do is you want to say with credentials to true. If you don't do this, the course policy won't work. So now, in the case now, if we go in and load the app, what you will see now is inside our application, we have set some cookies. And these cookies now allow you to actually secure your application more and make a request. So what we can quickly just do here to test out this is inside our routes. Let's go in and create a quick route here, and we just want to call this fully, and then we want to just return something. So what you should see now is, because this is all on the dash API, if we go inside our index.js file, and we can go in here and say API full, and then remove this. What we should see now inside the network tab here, if we refresh the page and maybe just we just get returned something.